Meet Giggle and Wobble, two of the most delightful friends in the forest. Giggle was a little bluebird with feathers as blue as the sky on a clear day. He loved to sing cheerful songs and laugh heartily, filling the forest with his joyful melodies. Wobble was a fluffy panda, round and cuddly, with a love for bamboo that was unmatched. He adored munching on bamboo, and true to his name, he had a funny way of wobbling around that made everyone giggle. One sunny day, the forest was alive with the sounds of nature. Birds chirped, leaves rustled, and the sun cast a warm glow over everything. Giggle and Wobble decided it was the perfect day for an adventure. Giggle, with his bright eyes sparkling, had an idea. "Let's have a race," he chirped enthusiastically. He flapped his wings excitedly, ready to take off. Wobble, who was in the middle of enjoying a bamboo snack, looked up in surprise. "Race?" he asked, tilting his head in confusion. The bamboo fell from Wobble's mouth as he tried to understand what Giggle was suggesting. He wasn't the fastest creature in the forest, but he loved spending time with his friend. "To the big oak tree!" Giggle exclaimed, pointing with his wing towards the majestic tree that stood tall and proud in the distance. The big oak tree was their favorite spot, a place where they often played and shared stories. It was the perfect destination for their race. Giggle and Wobble lined up, ready to start. Giggle's wings fluttered with anticipation, while Wobble took a deep breath, preparing himself for the challenge. "Ready, set, go!" Giggle shouted, and with a burst of energy he took off, his wings carrying him swiftly through the air. Wobble started to move, his legs wobbling as he tried to keep up. He wasn't fast, but he was determined. Giggle soared gracefully, his laughter echoing through the trees. He looked back to see Wobble giving it his all, and he couldn't help but smile. Wobble, though slow, was steady. He kept his eyes on the oak tree, his goal clear in his mind. Giggle reached the oak tree first, landing on a branch and cheering for his friend. "Come on, Wobble, you can do it," he encouraged. With a final burst of effort, Wobble made it to the oak tree. He was out of breath, but happy. Giggle flew down to meet him, congratulating him on finishing the race. They sat together under the shade of the oak tree, laughing and talking about their race. It didn't matter who won. What mattered was the fun they had together. And so Giggle and Wobble spent the rest of the day playing and enjoying each other's company, their laughter ringing through the forest, a testament to their unbreakable friendship. "Ready, Giggle, ready." Giggle bounced on his toes. Wobble quickly swallowed his bamboo. "Wobble, ready," he shouted. Giggle took off. He zipped through the air, laughing. Wobble wobbled. He tripped over a root and rolled like a ball. Giggle, whoops! Giggled Giggle from above. Wobble, covered in leaves, groaned. He looked up at the distant oak tree. He seemed very, very far away. "Know you've been a good friend." Giggle landed on a branch, watching Wobble. Giggle, "Need help?" he called down. Wobble sighed. He was tired from all that rolling. How would he ever reach the tree? Giggle flew down to Wobble. He had an idea. A goofy, silly idea. Giggle, "I know how you can win," Giggle chirped. Wobble looked up, hopeful. Maybe his friend could help him out of this mess. Giggle explained his idea. Giggle, "We can use math," he chirped. "Wobble, math?" he mumbled. Giggle, "Yes, look, there are 5 big rocks between us and the tree." Wobble counted the rocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Giggle was right. Giggle, "Now we just need to hop from one rock to the next," and with that their adventure continued. Section 5, Numbers to the Rescue. Giggle hopped onto the first rock. 1. Wobble climbed onto the rock. It was wobbly, but he stayed on. 2. Giggle hopped to the next rock. They continued like this, counting each rock. 3, 4. Wobble was actually having fun. He had never thought of rocks as stepping stones before. This race was turning out to be quite an adventure. Section 6, Teamwork makes the dream work. 5, they both shouted as they reached the final rock. From there it was just a short walk to the big oak tree. Wobble was amazed. He had almost reached the finish line. "See, we did it together." Wobble smiled. Giggle was right. They had worked as a team, and now they were about to win the race. Section 7, Crossing the finish line. Giggle took off, flying around the oak tree in celebration. Wobble lumbered towards the tree trunk and patted it with his paw. "Wobble, we made it." They had done it. Wobble had overcome his clumsiness and Giggle had used his goofiness for good. It was a true testament to the power of friendship. Section 8, Hooray! We did it! Giggle landed on Wobble's head, chirping happily. Wobble laughed, a deep, rumbling sound. They had raced, and Wobble hadn't even fallen over much, and they had even learned something new together. Wobble, math is fun. Giggle nodded enthusiastically. Giggle. It can help us solve problems, he chirped. Wobble looked at the rocks, no longer obstacles, but stepping stones to success. Section 9. Sharing is caring. In the heart of the forest, where the trees whispered secrets and the streams sang lullabies, lived two inseparable friends, Wobble and Giggle. They were known far and wide for their unbreakable bond and their adventures that brought joy to everyone around. One sunny afternoon, Wobble reached into his pouch and pulled out a piece of bamboo. The sun's rays filtered through the leaves, casting a warm glow on the scene. Wobble's eyes sparkled with excitement as he held the bamboo, knowing it was his favorite snack. He offered it to Giggle with a big smile. Wobble, want some? He asked, his voice filled with genuine kindness. Giggle, who preferred berries over bamboo, shook his head gently. Giggle, I'm good, he chirped, his eyes twinkling with gratitude, but thanks for sharing. It was moments like these that made their friendship special. They understood each other's likes and dislikes, yet always made an effort to include one another. Wobble munched on his bamboo, savoring each bite. He was happy to share with his friend, even if Giggle didn't partake. The act of offering was enough to strengthen their bond. They both knew that sharing wasn't just about the food, but about the love and care behind the gesture. Even though Giggle didn't eat bamboo, it was the thought that counted. Wobble's gesture showed how much he valued their friendship. It was a small act, but it spoke volumes about their connection. They often found joy in these little moments, which made their friendship even more precious. Friendship was about more than just winning races or playing games. It was about caring for each other in every possible way. Wobble and Giggle's bond was a testament to this. They supported each other through thick and thin, always ready to lend a helping hand or a comforting word. Their friendship was a beautiful tapestry woven with threads of kindness, understanding, and mutual respect. In a world that often seemed chaotic, their simple acts of sharing and caring brought a sense of peace and happiness to everyone around them. Section 10. A lesson learned. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the forest floor, Giggle and Wobble walked back home together. The forest was alive with the sounds of chirping crickets and rustling leaves, creating a symphony that accompanied their footsteps. The golden hues of the setting sun painted the sky in shades of orange and pink, making the entire scene look like a beautiful painting. Giggle and Wobble, though tired from their day's adventures, felt a sense of accomplishment and contentment. They had learned that even though they were different, they could still achieve great things when they worked together. Giggle, with his quick thinking and problem-solving skills, and Wobble, with his strength and determination, made a perfect team. They had faced many challenges throughout the day, from crossing a rickety bridge to solving a tricky puzzle, but they had done it all together. And as for math, well, it wasn't so scary after all. Giggle had always been good with numbers, but Wobble had always found them confusing. However, with Giggle's patient explanations and some practice, Wobble began to understand the concepts. He realized that math was just another tool they could use to solve problems and make their adventures easier. The relief on Wobble's face was evident as he finally grasped the basics of addition and subtraction. In fact, it could be quite helpful, especially when you had a goofy friend and a whole lot of rocks. They discovered that counting rocks was not only a fun game, but also a practical way to keep track of their resources. Giggle and Wobble laughed as they took turns counting and recounting the rocks, making sure they had enough for their next adventure. They realized that learning could be fun, and that they could always rely on each other for support and encouragement. As they continued their journey home, they knew that they had not only learned a valuable lesson, but had also strengthened their friendship.